Welcome to Thoughtful Planning, the place where real conversation, expert insight, and a touch of humor meet to turn our end-of-life uncertainties into self-assurance. I'm your co-host Santiago, a history buff and a big kid at heart.
And I'm Honey, your guide through the intricate dance of planning with care and a whole lot of warmth. Every week, we're here to turn those intimidating "are we ready" moments into confident "everything is under control" moments. Today's journey is one you won't want to miss. Hi, welcome to Thoughtful Planning. I'm Honey.
And I'm Santiago. Today, we're diving into a really cool and environmentally friendly death care option. It's called human composting, also known as natural organic reduction, or NOR for short. If you're someone who likes the idea of giving back to the earth, literally giving back to the earth, then this episode is for you.
We want to give a huge thank you to Recompose, a green funeral home specializing in human composting in Seattle, Washington. We reached out for an interview, and while they weren't able to join us in person, they graciously gave us permission to share information from their website and resources. We'll link to their website in the show notes, or you can go to recompose.life, where you can learn more to include options for a virtual or an in-person tour. And we'll also include a YouTube video link featuring Recompose founder Katrina Spade, along with Caitlin Dowdy, showing the process of human composting at Recompose.
So before we continue this conversation, we do want to start with our essential question. So, how can human composting provide a sustainable and meaningful alternative to conventional death care?
So, what exactly is human composting? Simply put, it's the transformation of a human body into soil.
The process takes place in a closed, reusable vessel, not a burial plot, where natural decomposition is carefully managed with organic materials like wood chips, alfalfa, and straw.
Microbes naturally present in our bodies break everything down over several weeks. After about 8 to 12 weeks, what remains is nutrient-rich soil, which can be used to nourish trees, plants, and conservation land. Let's talk about the process.
At the Recompose facility, families have the opportunity to participate in a laying-in ceremony. This is where your person's body will be in view, laying on a dark green bed Recompose calls a cradle. It's going to be draped in a natural cloth. The cradle will be stationed in front of a white hexagonal threshold vessel, which is the passageway to the vessel system. A Recompose services specialist will be there to guide you through the ceremony from start to finish. When all guests have arrived, the service specialist will begin the laying in. Your person's body is present, family, friends, and the Recompose staff. They cover your person's body with plant material. With help from the staff, friends, and family, gently move the person's body into the threshold vessel. The staff closes the door to the vessel, and the ceremony is complete. You can also have different options like a carbon cycle ceremony. There's a script on their website, a candle lighting ceremony, guided breathing ceremony, or you can have a faith leader or a special speaker present.
The next phase is known as the vessel phase, and over the next 5 to 7 weeks, the staff monitors the microbial activity to see the temperature inside the vessel raises to over 131 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 3 days, hot enough to safely break everything down.
The staff also monitors the oxygen levels. They rotate the vessel and they ensure everything decomposes evenly and safely.
Next, the soil is then removed from the vessel and placed in a curing bin, where it continues to aerate for another 3 to 5 weeks. By the end, what started as a body is now approximately 1 cubic yard of soil, enough to fill the bed of a pickup truck and weighs about 1,000 pounds. People can choose to donate the soil to forest projects or take some or all of it home. It can also be shipped for a fee.
So, how does human composting compare to a green or natural burial? Remember that a green or natural burial involves placing an unembalmed body in a wicker basket or a shroud directly into the ground. This allows natural decomposition over several years.
And human composting happens above ground in a controlled environment and takes up to 7 weeks to decompose. The science behind both is similar, but human composting accelerates the process by ensuring the body has the perfect balance of oxygen, moisture, and microbes.
So, now that we understand the process, let's talk about the environmental and carbon reduction. So, human composting uses about 87% less energy than cremation, and it saves over a metric ton of carbon emissions.
Wow, that's the equivalent of keeping a car off the road for 2,500 miles or preventing the burning of 1,102 pounds of coal.
That's a lot of coal. In San Antonio, we use coal for our power, so that's a lot of emissions. So, and if you're into fun facts, casket manufacturing here in the U.S. alone destroys 4 million acres of forest each year. So, if you'd rather nourish the earth than be buried in it, human composting is a pretty solid choice.
And if you're curious about cost, as of March of 2025, the cost for human composting with Recompose is about $7,000.
So let's compare that to a conventional burial. Some people confuse conventional burials with traditional because that's all we've known about for a while, where they put you in a casket, put you in a tomb, embalm your body with embalming fluid, and then put you in the ground. So a conventional burial costs about $8,300. That does not include the burial plot, and cremation costs about $6,280.
Recompose also offers a community fund providing subsidized services for those who need financial assistance.
So if you're wondering if you can be an organ donor still, and still choose the human composting route, yes, you can.
But donating your body to science isn't compatible because medical research facilities embalm bodies, which prevents natural decomposition.
So, can pets be composted? Right now, not at the Recompose facility. They're just strictly focusing on human composting.
So, if you're wondering if there's anyone who isn't eligible for human composting, the process of human composting destroys most harmful pathogens. There are three rare diseases that disqualify a body from undergoing human composting: Ebola, some infectious brain diseases, and active tuberculosis. Monitoring for these diseases is the responsibility of hospitals and medical examiners. For patients who have received radiation seed implants, the seeds must be removed and 30 days pass before they are eligible for human composting.
So, another question that we had is, can ashes or other materials be added to the body that undergoes human composting? The soil created by human composting can be mixed with ashes, plants, or other materials. And in some instances, some plants can be placed in the vessel at the start of the process.
So, if you're wondering where is human composting legal, as of March of 2025, it's currently legal in 12 states: Washington, Colorado, Oregon, Vermont, California, New York, Nevada, Arizona, Maryland, Delaware, Minnesota, and Maine. And here in Texas, legislation is on the table. House Bill 2200 was introduced in January of 2025 by Representative Anna Hernandez to legalize human composting in Texas.
So I'm kind of happy about that because, when we're in doing our research about how we want to be laid to rest, um, you know, being buried the traditional way is not very environmentally
Conventional.
conventional. Being buried. See, even I do it. The conventional way that we know right now, once they put that embalming fluid in you, you're just basically, a hazardous site, a hazmat site. But the composting, I think that you can do so much help. And in that video we watched the other day, where they can take you to the forest in Washington and you feed the trees that grow there. I think that would be so cool to know that you're part of a forest
Hmm.
growing out there. So, if you'd like to make or help make human composting legal in your state, here's what you do. Write your state legislature. Recompose has a template on their website that makes it really easy. Stay informed by subscribing to Recompose newsletter for updates. And then spread the word. Talk to your friends and family about eco-friendly death care options.
So thank you for joining us. We hope today's episode has helped you learn more about human composting. It is more than just a sustainable alternative. It's an intentional, full circle way to return to the earth. Be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with someone who might find it helpful.
I hope you guys find it helpful. Well, we did. So before we wrap up, let's revisit that essential question. How can human composting provide a sustainable and meaningful alternative to conventional death care?
Until next time, remember every chapter you write today shapes your legacy tomorrow. Thank you for joining us at Thoughtful Planning. And just like the vibrant hues of a setting sun, we're wrapping up another episode of Thoughtful Planning. Every shared story and insight is a step closer to turning uncertainty into celebrations of preparedness.
Absolutely. And to our listeners, remember that every surprise that comes our way is an opportunity to grow, adapt, and learn. Stay tuned for more stories, expert insight, and of course, a touch of wit in our next episode.
We're not just co-hosts, we're fellow travelers on this journey. For more information on additional resources, which will help you take the next step in planning, look for the link in the show notes for our membership. Join us next time for another episode of Thoughtful Planning. Until then, keep living, laughing, and loving every moment.